Hey guys, it's Jennifer. Oh my goodness, I haven't talked to you forever. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about onboarding clients into your business, whatever your business is. If you have a retail storefront, if you have a coaching business, if you have a consulting business, if your business is online, if your business is in person, and why that's actually important for you to have a look at what is onboarding clients and how do you do that in a way that actually works for you? Hey, Liddy, how are you? And why it's a customizable approach and why my approach to onboarding my clients is going to be completely different than your approach to onboarding your clients into your business, and why that's important for the grand thing. Like, why are they your clients? Why have they chosen you? And how can you actually nurture that process with your onboarding? So what is onboarding? So somebody has a session with you. They decide to sign up for more sessions with you. They buy an item from your online store. They buy an item from your physical store. They become your client. Cash trades hands. And so what happens during that process, and how can you nurture that relationship from the very first time that you meet them? How do you make yourself referable? How do you make sure that the people have the information that they require in order to be able to have the very best relationship with you possible? And so that's one of the things that I work with my clients on. Like, what is the actual process for the clients to come in and work with you? Where are those points that get sort of sticky or stuck, or where can you actually go off the rails? You're actually going to know that if you've had enough clients. Hey, Sylvia. Hey, David. And like, what do you actually want them to know about doing business with you? And also, what's possible for them to learn during the process? What's possible for them to receive during the process? Like, even if you have a jewelry business, even if you teach dance lessons, what is it that you would like people to know? And how can you invite them into having more and being more and doing more in their everyday life with the process that you take them through during this onboarding process with you? And so I have a specific onboarding process for my coaching and consulting. And during that onboarding process, I really love to learn way more about the client and what they are hoping to achieve, well beyond a discovery session, because what they tell you in a discovery session is sort of the things that they think are a problem in their life. Even if they're buying jewelry from you, even if they're taking dance lessons from you, the conversation that you may have, is just a tiny little facet of who they are as a being. And, I know that we're really quite programmed to have conversations based on, well, this thing's missing in my life, so let's address what's missing in my life and try to fill up that hole, rather than actually looking at the whole picture. Like, what I love to do is find out, what is it that the person's really fantastic at? And how do we make that so big that it just eclipses every single thing that they could ever think is wrong in their life? And so that's one of my things that I absolutely love to do. And Michelle's here, David's here, Sylvie's here. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. Do you have any specific questions about onboarding clients? Do you have any awarenesses that you'd like to share with me? And we could talk about that for a couple minutes. Yeah, so helping power couples scale their business is my new Facebook group. Why did I decide to work with couples? Well, one of the things that I've noticed, and there's a ton of research to back it up, is that if you are an entrepreneur in business and your spouse doesn't have your back, good luck having a business, because having an entrepreneur type relationship with your business, being the one who's responsible for basically everything in your business, really takes up a lot of space in your universe. and a lot of space in your energy in your body, a lot of space in your home. Like maybe you're like me, you work from home and do a lot of your stuff online. If you have a specialty type business, if you manufacture, you may have your workshop right here at home. And so if your partner doesn't have your back, or they don't have your back in a way that actually works for you, well, that really can erode the relationship. And one of the things that I love to do is to bring couples closer. Like really, our primary relationships are so indicative of how we approach the world. And it's interesting. I was reading, this is such a great book. This book was recommended to me. I think it's called something else now. It's Dr. Sue Johnson. And she was talking about a test that they did on happily married couples. What they did was they put somebody in an MRI machine, and they just showed them little pictures of X's and O's, and they let them know if they saw an X, there was a 20% chance that they might receive a little shock. And so the people who were laying in the bed, if they saw the X's, their whole brain lit up with like fear and panic hormone, and when they were alone. And then they did a test where like a stranger came in and held their hand while they were having this test. And so there was like a slight reduction in the sort of fear and panic hormone in their brain. And then keep in mind, these were people who identified themselves as, well-attached, happily married people in this test. And so when their partner came in and held their hand, and they saw the X's, and there was a 20% chance that they were going to get a shock, what happened was they actually, the chemicals in their brain, the stress response in their brain was like kind of lighting up a tiny bit, but it was just more information rather than panic. And they actually reported when they did get a shock that the pain that they received from the shock when they were holding hands with their partner was sort of negligible, versus the pain that they reported when they were all alone was quite painful. So have a look at that process. You're an entrepreneur, you're out there hustling, you're, doing what it is that you do in the world. And, there must be some value in it. Otherwise you probably wouldn't. And, people have told you you're good at it. Otherwise you probably wouldn't have any paying clients, and you probably wouldn't be inclined to do it. However, have a look at this. If you don't have a solid foundation, if your partner is not actively engaged in supporting your business, or isn't supporting your business the way that you require them to be supporting your business, then it becomes very, very difficult to be in business. And so we all know that businesses have a 3 to 5 year survival rate, and consequently also have a 3 to 5 year failure rate. So most businesses, entrepreneurial type businesses, like small manufacturing businesses or consulting businesses, if you don't make it past the 5-year mark, then the likelihood is that you're not going to actually make it. And so why do I really care about this process? Why do I care about you onboarding your business? Well, I think that the ability for myself to do business with dozens of different people, rather than being funneled into some like government thing or some big box store, I'm not interested. I won't shop at the box stores. I almost never do. I'm lucky I live in a beautiful community. Like we have like independent meat shop and an independent cheese shop and independent bakeries. And, we even have like independent designers in town here that we can go and get clothes made from and different things like that. So that's what I love. I love people being in their genius. And I believe that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of different ways to be in your genius. And part of that is receiving support from people like me, support from your spouse, giving your spouse the information that they require to be able to support you in your business. If you don't actually have a spouse, giving you the information that you may require to attract somebody into your life that can give you that support. And this Love Secret book is an amazing book. So I'm going to put the link so you can grab this book if you're interested. There's another part of it where there was a scientist that that did sort of a study of couples and yeah, the ability to have a more satisfying, gratifying life as a part of a partnership. And so that's one of the things that I believe in. My husband and I have a great relationship. And when our relationship is sort of off the rails, we are like reaching for books like that. We are reaching for resources. We've actually hired a coach to work with us at times on different parts of our relationship. And so I truly believe that if you are in a relationship with somebody that truly has your back, your life is completely more enriched. And so that's part of Power Couples scaling their business. And yeah, so this onboarding, better than the Loveboat. So you might be too young, you don't even remember what the Loveboat is, but I remember being little, and that was one of the things that if I was lucky, I could get to stay up late and watch the Loveboat. And part of the Loveboat would be, you know, people going on a cruise and falling in love. And what would it be like if you could go on a cruise and you could actually fall deeper in love with your clients, deeper in love with your process, and deeper in love with how you do business? And part of that is the onboarding process for your business and the way that you differentiate yourself, the way that you set yourself apart from other people who may be doing something similar. You know, I mean, they're never going to be you. You are as unique as your fingerprints. Nobody can do what you do as good as you can do it, especially if you're in your full talents and capacities, being fully supported in your work by your partner, by your staff, by, you know, the people who are working with you in your business. And so the onboarding process can really bring your clients closer to you. They know more about what it is that makes you an expert in your field. And then if there's some things that you do specifically that people don't do in the same field, how can you invite them to get to know more about you? Maybe there's a video process, a video journey, like you take them through a video journey, or, you know, maybe you send them a series of like postcards in the mail to invite them to a deeper level of understanding of how you do business. Maybe there's a series of emails that you send them with videos or with text or with downloads that invite you and them to get to know each other better. And so that's what we're going to be covering in this onboarding process. It's a turbo training, so it's an hour. So I'm sure you can take an hour out of your life and come and learn more about this. Will it be available outside of that hour? Absolutely. Will you be able to get a customized approach just for you outside of that hour? Well, you could if you decided to work with me in my VIP. But it's probably best if you just show up. You're going to be able to get some specific questions answered. You can actually get some feedback on a specific part of your process if you show up for the trainings, and it's in my new group, so you're so invited. And yeah, thank you so much for showing up. Happy Monday. It's Jennifer. Bye, guys.